Oliviero, a failed writer and an alcoholic, lives in a crumbling mansion with his wife Irina, who is scared of Oliviero's cat Satan that used to belong to his late mother Esther. The only other main resident is the black maid Brenda. To fight boredom, Oliviero organizes decadent parties for local hippies and humiliates and abuses Irina in front of the guests. A key early plot point is the elegant gown that belonged to Oliviero's dead mother that he catches Irina wearing, which anger him. After his mistress Fausta, a young student and bookstore employee, is found murdered, Oliviero becomes the primary suspect after being fingered by Fausta's boss Bartello. The author lies when questioned by police and tells them that he was fixing a flat tire on his car during the time Fausta was murdered and forces Irina to cover for him. Later, Irina investigates the supposed flat tire in the boot of her husband's car, but he catches her and angrily beats her. During the night, during a heavy thunderstorm, Brenda put on Esther's gown and is silently watched by Oliviero. Brenda senses someone else is in the house and attempts to flee to her room, but is mortally wounded by the still unseen killer with a billhook. Irina finds the dying Brenda, who collapses at her feet. Oliviero appears and coldly views the body and convinces Irina to help him conceal it to avoid further suspicion. Brenda's body is buried in the cellar, although Oliviero refuses to dispose of the blood-stained gown with the body and tells Irina to wash it. Then Oliviero's niece Florina suddenly arrives for a visit from Paris. A sinister grey-haired man also appears and seems to watch the Olivieros from afar. Later at the house, the same grey-haired man shows up and gives Irina a dry cleaning package containing the gown. Oliviero flies into a rage after believing his wife sent the dress out to be cleaned and beat her and lock her in a closet where Satan closes Irina. Florina finds her aunt in the closet and frees her. Irina finds comfort in Florina's arm and bed, and the two start an affair and decide to find a way to deal with Oliviero. The same night, the killer strikes again and murders a local prostitute named Giovanna, who had coincidentally arrived in town the same day Florina appeared. The girl's aunt killed the attacker. The following day, the police inspector revealed to Oliviero that the serial killer was none other than the bookstore manager Bartello, who was really an escaped mental patient named Lipori. Oliviero tells his wife this and attempts to strangle her. Florina, meanwhile, has begun a relationship with the local milkman Dario, who previously dated Brenda. Following attending a dirt bike race in which Dario competes but is forced to drop out of due to his bike failing, Florina is taken by Dario to an old barn where they make love while Oliviero secretly spies on them. Irina catches Satan after the cat kills several of her pet dogs and in a rage stabs one of the cat eye out with a pair of scissors. This is witnessed by the elderly woman who collects bottles from the house, and she is ordered to leave by a crazed-looking Irina who rushes into the house and collapses. Later, Oliviero enters Florina's room and finds her laying in bed in his mother's gown. Florina revealed she knew that her uncle spied on her when she bedded Dario in the barn, locked and then proceeded to seduce Oliviero. The next morning, Oliviero confronted Irina about his missing cat and questioned why she bought new scissors. When Irina mentioned Esther, Oliviero lunges at her and rapes her, Florina witnessing everything. The elderly woman, Mrs. Molina, visits the town and asks to speak to the chief of police regarding the Oliviero. Oliviero, Florina and Irina visit a mountaintop scenic view and the two women discuss killing Oliviero by pushing him over the cliff. That night, Irina is awakened by the sound of Satan's wailing outside. She goes to the room of Florina and overhears her niece and Oliviero discussing her, and Oliviero mentions he has made space in the cellar for his wife's body. Irina rushes outside and sees Dario secretly meeting with Florina and asking her to meet him in the morning. Irina spies Satan and chases him into the cellar, where she discovers that Brenda's corpse has been uncovered, giving credence to Oliviero's murderous plan. Irina approaches Oliviero, passes out next to his typewriter, and violently stabs him to death with the scissors. Following the murder, Florina reveals she watched but indicates that Irina will surely go to prison unless she covers up the murder. Florina reveals that she has been after the jewelry that Oliviero had stashed in the mansion. Irina humbly gives her the jewelry and the two have love one final time before Florina departs in the morning. The grey-haired man Walter sneaks into the house in the early morning hours and begins writing on Oliviero's typewriter vendetta repeatedly before escaping as Irina and Florina investigate. Disturbed by this event, Florina abandons Irina and rushes out to meet Dario. Walter appears and it's discovered is the secret lover to Irina, who goes to the cellar. Irina reveals that it was she who killed Esther as well as Brenda. The original scheme was to convince Oliviero he was Brenda's killer and drive him mad. However, his own plan to murder Irina and beg Florina forced a change of plan. Walter killed both Florina and Dario by throwing oil on the road as they attempt to escape on motorbike, making it look like an accident so he can recover the family jewels. Later, Irina pushes Walter off a cliff to have the jewelry all for herself. When Irina returns to the mansion, she finds the police there. Mrs. Molina, the old woman, has filed a complaint for animal cruelty, as she had seen Irina stabbing Satan. Inside the mansion, the police officer noticed that the cat seemed to be mewing in agony inside a wall. As they tear down the wall, they discover the cat and the dead body of Oliviero inside. Sergio Martino's effort, Your Voice is a Lockroom, is a crossover between the giallo genre, horror and love atmosphere, as there were many during the 70s in Italy. It's freely adapted from Edgar Allan Poe, The Black Cat, while keeping a giallo narrative structure for an hour and so. Then move back to the Poe territory. Your Voice is a Lockroom has quite daring visual for 1 hour, Martino's usual trademark in his early 70s work, while camera angle, edgy editing. Then it suddenly cooled down as the story stick around with the Black Cat thing. The screenplay developed a maniac on the loose killing young girls in a very nasty way. while Anita Strindberg fight with drunken and debauched husband Luigi Pistilli. He is a no good writer who write all night, only one sentence over and over. Then comes Edwige Fenech, who stand for Strindberg cause before sleeping with her husband and the delivery man. Lesbian scenes, straight scenes, stunt scene, love scene, murder scene, romance again, then murders. This is a very well-known territory that bring up finally some good surprises in the end. This is definitely Anita Strindberg's best work to date. She is absolutely fantastic as the cheated wife who goes over the edge, showing every human emotion with a professionalism rarely seen on the screen. Too bad her career went dry after 1975. She was a real winner here with great acting capabilities. Miss Fenech got a theorem-like character but still very eager to drop every cloth she got. She get a very bitchy part here which is very unusual in her career as she went along either with victim, character or hot ones. And there is a still weird Ivan Rassimov as the mysterious stranger snooping around Strindberg's house. He was already in Martino's previous Tutti I Colori debut. Apart from the screenplay's weaknesses and incapacity of bringing something fresh and new to the post story, this Martino flick is quite memorable and fun to watch. But as it tries to link several genres, it really doesn't know where to go and who to please and finally end up as a curiosity from the 70s. Nevertheless, a gem strictly for genre addict. Oliviero is a burnt-out writer living at his estate near Verona, his dead mother dominating his imagination. He is also a degenerate, sleep with his maid and his ex-student, hosts bacchanalia for local hippies, and humiliate his wife Irina in front of stranger. She lives in terror. When a young woman is murdered, police suspect Oliviero. Things get complicated when his young, beautiful and self-confident niece Florina pays an unexpected visit. A silver-haired stranger observes more women die, and thought of harming Irina give Oliviero new inspiration. What's Florina's game and who's the observant stranger? Watching all is a black cat named Satan. From 1970 to 1973, Sergio Martino directed 5 gialli. The best known of the bunch certainly is I Copy Presentano Trasi di Vallas Carnale, better known as Tosso. La Code dello Scorpion, aka the case of the Scorpion's Tail, is also quite well known among fans. Lo strano vizio della Signoworth, aka Blade of the Reaper, is less known, as is the psychedelic Tutti I Colori debut, aka They Are Coming to Get You, and Day of the Maniac. But the least known and also rarest of the bunch is Il Tuo Vizio, known also under its English title Gently Before She Dies, Excite Me, and Eye of the Black Cat. It's really a shame that this fine effort hasn't reached a broad audience of giallo admirer yet, because it's a masterly and highly original giallo whose plot mixes the two types of giallo, a mysterious killer murder one victim after the other in order to keep his or her secret, a troubled couple from which one half, mostly together with his or her lover, want to get rid of the other permanently, which spawn intrigue, distrust and of course murder, with element of Edgar Allan Poe's probably most film story, the thoroughly gothic The Black Cat. The result is astonishing. It worked perfectly. Even toward the climax, which is more Poe-oriented, Martino managed to startle the audience with extremely surprising for the genre typical twist. And the twist work very well. The first half is more giallo oriented and delivers some gory murder scene and the inevitable tickling love moment. The cast is also excellent, consisting of a group of giallo regulars. Anita Strindberg and Edwige Fenech, the latter in an unusual genre role for her. Lead the female cast Luigi Pistelli, giving an outrageously daring performance, and Ivan Rassimov lead the male. They all fit perfectly into their roles. Not to forget Bruno Nicolai's score, which probably marked his most versatile soundtrack ever. All in all, a wonderful genre outing, a unique thriller using all well-known rules of the giallo and yet giving them fresh turn and twist. Even by giallo standard, this movie is pretty off the wall, but it is also strangely enough probably the most faithful adaptation of the Edgar Allan Poe story The Black Cat. There is a bit of gender role reversal where it is the wife who is tormented by the black cat, which is the cherished pet of a cruel alcoholic husband. The mother obsessed husband takes out his writer's block on his long-suffering spouse and may be responsible for a string of serial killing. Thrown into the mix is a black maid who seems to only be in the movie, so the sleazy character can make a lot of racist, offensive comment about her. And also she can get naked. And speaking of getting naked, Edwige Fenech also show up as the husband's hot, conniving niece and demonstrate once again her extreme aversion to wearing cloth. In between nude scene, however, Fenech really seemed to be doing some acting this time, and she play against type here as a villain rather than a victim. She seduced both her uncle and her aunt and pretty much everyone else in the movie, with the possible exception of Satan the cat. Not that this is a good movie, it has an idiotic subplot where Fenech has an affair with a goofy looking motocross racer for no apparent reason other than to pad the running length with some racing footage that would do a lot better in a sport video than in a giallo. The movie also isn't nearly as well directed as some of Sergio Martino's other gialli like Torso or All the Color of Darkness. And Martino regular Ivan Rassimov is tragically wasted in a perfunctory role. Still, even a bad Martino Fenech giallo is not without its charm. And if you are an Edgar Allan Poe fan, you will especially enjoy this one.